This is the sound of peace on Brampton Court. But if you look closely, you'll see signs of a dark past still lingers.
Brampton Court.
Visible stains of violence.
Sir, what is the street address?
There was a shooting. There was a shooting in Brampton Court.
Sir, I need a street
Brampton Court.
address.
Remnants of a shooting that killed 38-year-old Christopher Perkins.
I saw my phone was ringing because it was on silent, and the man on the other line said Chris had been shot.
When they said we did all we could, but he didn't make it, I was confused. I was like, what do you mean he didn't make it?
It's been 4 years since that life-altering morning, and still no answers, only questions. Who are these men captured on video rushing into Christopher Perkins' home, and why did they kill him? His mother, Lisa Simon, and his sister, Alexis Quincas, say years later they still can't make sense of it all.
I just want to know why. I can't bring him back. I can't hear him no more, you know? And I just want to know why.
If you could speak to those individuals who kicked in the front door, went into your brother's house that morning, ultimately ending his life by shooting him, what would you say to them?
Was it worth it? Because at the end of the day, no matter how I feel about it, his mom feel about it, even the justice system, they have to answer to God.
Orange County detectives say 7 men kicked in the front door. Chris jumped out of a window and someone shot him dead on the street outside. His teenage daughter now left without a father.
His daughter needs him really bad. She needs him. She needs him.
As years passed and no new leads developed, the case went cold. With a fresh set of eyes, investigators are now reviewing files, sharing with us a key piece of evidence never seen before.
In the forensic examination of the security DVR, we were able to access another camera angle that wasn't previously, we weren't previously able to access. And that camera angle showed the street.
Corporal Dave Nutting heads up the cold case unit at the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
It is very, very likely that he was targeted. The suspect vehicles we feel comfortable we identified as a Chrysler 300 and a Dodge Charger. And we believe that the suspects made several passes by the house, by Chris Perkins' house throughout the evening.
Do you believe that this video of these cars, could this potentially be the key to solving this crime?
I would hope so. I'll explain to people this is like a jigsaw puzzle. You may have a piece over here that he doesn't think it's very important, but combined with all the other pieces can build a picture of what happened.
It's a puzzle that both Lisa and Alexis want solved.
Somebody on that street saw that car going back and forth. They had to. Thanks be to God that I'm not bitter. But I want them to know that they took something precious from me.
If you know something, or if you just know who, just let them know so we can have some peace. We can close this chapter.
Peace they hope will help heal their broken hearts and forever erase the stain on Brampton Court. Curtis McLeod, Spectrum News 13.
Looks like it could topple over.
2004.
The hurricane force winds have just really started to kick up.
Brought one of the busiest hurricane seasons Central Florida has ever seen.
We don't know if anybody's on there.
This is the time to get out.
It was a perfect storm for a disaster.
Many people on edge in Altamont Springs in anticipation of Hurricane Francis. They likely may have missed a crime unfolding before their eyes.
I just want to know what happened to my mom. Somebody may know something, but I don't know. All I know is we only heard one story. There's got to be more to it than that. She was always the person that you wanted to be around. Like, she made you feel good just being there.
At 14 years old, Russ Wigginton lost his best friend, his person, his mother, 34-year-old Susan Perkins.
My mom and I had a really close relationship. I mean, she was the one person that I always confided in for everything. She was the one that no matter what I needed to talk about, I was never afraid to talk to my mother.
His aunt Sarah Wakefield also fondly remembers the inseparable bond she shared with her sister.
We could finish each other's sentences, we'd always joke, or boyfriends would joke like, hey, if you date one, you better be ready because the other one's gonna be around, all the time too.
On August 31st, 2004, their world would change after Susan got a call to go help a friend tint windows at her day spa, not far away from where she and her two sons lived. After not hearing from his mother for some time, Russ says he became concerned.
I had called her multiple times on the phone, and it was not like her to not answer the phone. So I actually rode my skateboard down to that building where I thought they were.
Really?
And unbeknownst to me, that wasn't the correct building.
Russ went to an old location of the day spa, not knowing it had moved. It would be days later before he and his family understood exactly what took place that night.
Is there any motive that you guys have been able to uncover at this point in time for all of this?
We're relying solely on the testimony that was given to us at the night and during continuous interviews, and the only motive we can come up with at this point was an opportunity to rob somebody.
Former Altamont Springs detective Bill Nuzzi has been on the case since 2005. Step by step, he took us through the events of that night as reported by the only witness, Susan Perkins' friend and owner of the day spa.
While they were in there, a male entered the store. He was described by the second victim as having a ski mask on, an army-style jacket, carrying a long gun, a rifle. He came in and demanded money. He then ordered them to get into a vehicle. It was actually Susan's vehicle. It was her Ford Focus. He ordered them to drive to the bank and withdraw money.
This is a picture of Susan's red Ford Focus. Altamont Springs police releasing this photo for the first time with hopes someone will remember seeing it. The second photo is an aerial shot of the bank on 436 where Susan and her friend were taken. After leaving the ATM, reports say the gunman ordered Perkins to back the car up into the dark area of the parking lot.
The cameras didn't work at the ATM. The lights weren't working in the parking lot. People were in their houses or had evacuated because of the second storm coming. He ordered them into the trunk of the vehicle. As the vehicle drove away, there's an emergency latch inside the vehicle that they were able to open.
Reports say the car turned onto Boston Avenue. It's at this point where the second victim jumped from the trunk of the car. Just as the car approached the intersection of Boston Avenue and Orange Drive, Susan then jumped from the trunk and her head struck the pavement. She would soon be rushed to a nearby hospital. Her sister Sarah, after getting word, rushed to see her.
And I just remember just screaming, that, no, like, you guys have to do something for her, And that's when I realized, that she was gone. Like, I didn't feel her there anymore. She was gone.
I'm never gonna see her smile, never gonna hear her laugh. It's really hard.
What do you miss the most about her?
I miss the most about her is just having that one person that you know no matter what, she's got your back. I have a lot of people like that, but nothing like my mom.
If this interview is nothing less than the person responsible seeing this and knowing that we're not going away, then I'll live with that too. Because you know what? I will never go away until we know who is responsible for what happened to her.
In Altamont Springs, Curtis McLeod, Spectrum, News 13. Like many missing persons cases, the investigation remains open. Trails of clues leading to nowhere. But now, Leesburg police say there's something giving the family renewed hope that one day we may finally know what happened to Trenton Duckett.
You see these stories on TV and you hear about them.
Help us find our daughter.
But no one has been able to find LaTanya.
You never in a million years think it's going to happen to you.
I never thought I would be one of those people.
On the walls of this home outside Buffalo, New York, is a story.
Mindy made this when she was 13.
The story of a mother.
There was a picture of her and her sister.
And grandmother. But what these pictures won't tell you is a family story shrouded in darkness. 14 years ago, Beth Eubank's family's world unraveled in an instant.
He was 2 years old when he was taken. He doesn't know he's missing.
Her adopted daughter's son, Trenton Duckett, disappeared.
We're always prepared for the worst, but we hope for the best.
1,100 miles away, her former son-in-law, Joshua Duckett, has found his own path forward.
Biggest thing is just to keep fighting for the cause and to bring him home.
Shortly after losing his son, tragedy struck again. Joshua's wife, Melinda, Beth's daughter, took her own life.
I was 20 years old, and the girl that I had dated all the way through high school, had a kid with, was married to, and lived with, just committed suicide.
She's not here any longer with us, and we have to be her voice. And we're the only ones that have the memories of her to share with Trenton.
The questions that followed: why did this happen and who's responsible? To begin, we go back to August 2006 and a 911 call.
How long has he been gone?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I was watching a movie that was 2 hours long. I had checked on him before anyone came down to the house.
Melinda Duckett reported her son missing from their Leesburg apartment. Investigators finding a cut in the screen of Trenton's bedroom window. A lingering question: what happened to Trenton, and was his mother holding the answers?
She loved Trenton very much. She was not the monster that the media and the public smashed her and bashed her out to be.
Now, a new tip is giving fresh hope for the family. A person who lived in the area at the time Trenton went missing has come forward with new information. Captain Joe Iozzi with Leesburg Police would not disclose details yet, but says time, in this case, may prove helpful.
There have been a lot of technological advances in investigative work to date.
Something Joshua and Beth hope will help uncover an unturned stone and bring Trenton back home.
We're not going to give up hope, and we hope that nobody else does either.
We will never give up looking for him.
Now, earlier this year, Leesburg Police released this age progression photo of what Trenton may look like today. If you know anything that may help solve this case, call 352-787-2121. Curtis McLeod, Spectrum News.